Okay, as you can see, I've got a little hole in the floor now. I got a little piece of pipe cut and ready to go, and I'm going to have to measure and cut it off at the bottom once I get down there. But it's going to go like this, and then this piece will go in here, and we'll glue these together. So, getting ready to glue this piece together just like we did before in the other video. Just clean things, sand it down, put a little bit of the purple stuff on it, a little bit of glue, and we're going to glue it together and put it in place. Okay, before you glue this piece onto this piece and your length, make sure you got your length at least long enough. So what we're going to do is just kind of put this in place here like this, and right at about where it's going to screw on here, and then just go down underneath, and let's make sure that you got the length that you're expecting and it's going to do what you expect it to do. Alright, here we are at the back of the trailer. As you can see, here's the line that we've got dropped down, so I've left plenty of line here that I can trim off of and plumb over to the gray water tank. And you can see the black water tank right here. Luckily we just missed that, so part of the planning when you're doing this, make sure that wherever your plumbing is going to run underneath it, it's going to work out and not cause you a lot of extra effort. Okay, here's another perspective of the pipe running down from underneath the trailer. So I've just got it temporarily connected right now, so I'm going to measure it, cut it, and hook up the connectors, and just not glue anything together yet, just to make sure all the pieces fit, run the way I want them to run. And so it's just kind of a dry run before you glue it all together. So I would recommend doing that first. Make sure everything's going to lay out like you think it will. Okay, so from this view, it's coming, the tub's up above, and it's connected to the pipe there, and I'm bringing it down to a wide tube. The tube's going to run down along the frame, back over here, back over behind the tank, and then back over to my gray water tank. Alright, so it's going to come out, it's coming out from the floor here, and what I was saying is how it runs around the tanks. One thing you want to do is get your PVC and get your measurements, figure out exactly how far it's going to go, and then how much pipe you're going to need to get down to the end, and then which pieces you're going to need to connect everything together. It's just kind of like a big puzzle. You just got to put all the pieces together, and once you get it all figured out and cut, then glue it together, and you got it set. Alright, I'm guessing people are going to wonder how I got a hole cut in the side of this tank, and rather than dropping the whole tank, which that'd probably be the right way, take all those bolts out, drop the tank down, mark out where your pipe's going to go, but I prefer just to leave it on there and not risk anything getting loosened up in here. So I'll take a little Dremel tool, a little Dremel bit, and just cut that out. And I'll try to video it while I'm doing it here. Alright, here it is. It comes down through the floor, runs along the frame. Put a T-valve on it so that I can switch it and just let it run out on the ground if I'm in a place where I can do that, and put a cap on the other end so I can just let it go out instead of having to go into the gray water tank, because we're just taking a shower, and if you're using organic soap, I'm sure it'd be safe for the environment. And I put some zip ties on the frame just to kind of hold things in place. Put a little piece of brace pipe on there just to make sure that stays up. And it runs over and into the gray tank. Just cut that little hole with a Dremel tool. And so now it'll drain and dump into the tank. Alright, now I got all the piping done. And I filled in all this with some of that spray foam. I did like the idea of having this as a drain area. So what I did is I got a plastic bottle cap, and I'm going to just kind of put it right here and then foam all down around it. As you can see, there's a little hole on the floor. It's almost like trampoline material they put on the bottom of this. But my thinking is I'm going to put this down just a little, just below floor level, so if that does drip a little bit, it'll drip into this plastic container, and then there's a hole at the bottom and it could drip out the bottom. So just in case there's ever a leak, just a little extra insurance while I'm in here. And just a little extra time and no extra expense. So this is it. You've heard of these, I'm sure. Shark bites. They just slide on the end like so, and they'll just clamp on there. We'll put one there and one there. I say clamp, they just slide on and they'll clip on themselves. And then we'll run our tube off the other end of it. It's just really just a snap and go sort of thing. And they give you a little tool that slides on the end here that kind of pushes this down and makes it pop out. And pretty simple stuff, and everybody swears by them that they don't leak. They do well. So, and you don't have to have special tools to crimp stuff down. Well, we'll see how it goes. Alright, piping has been moved. And if you notice, you just barely see right there where that hole was in the floor. Luckily there's a little piece of this linoleum left under the floor when they cut it out. So I was able to patch that up where it won't be too noticeable. Next we're going to need to build a box that's going to go around this to cover it up. And as you can see, I used the little clamps, and these I got over at the hardware store just to tie it up to the wall. And when you're tying it to the wall, there's like studs just like in a house. So you can use a stud finder and find those studs in the wall. And then I screwed it down to the floor right there. And you know, they're those sharkbite connectors again. And of course used them also over here. So again, plumbing's just kind of a puzzle. Figure out the puzzle pieces, make it all work. And now we've got this nice big open space that you can walk in and out of without any problems. You can see the top of the bunk bed up there. It's just so you see how that lifts up. I just cut a little board and it had screws along the bottom. So I just put a board up and just left it connected at the back. Just an extra board just in case. Give you a little more room in here. I can actually stand up walking in and starting to frame out where the desk is going to be. And then of course that's also going to be, you know, another bunk bed. Just a single bunk bed and more of a double up top. Alright, more to follow.